Hi everyone, welcome to We Are Fear. It's another new episode. We are happy to have you back. So we had an amazing last episode, by the way. We dropped some wisdom and knowledge from the books that you have been reading, and I hope you have caught up on that episode. So my name is Leah, one of the co-hosts of We Are Fear. My other half is behind the cameras today, but as you can see, we have a guest, and it's a woman. So for everyone who's been killing us, yeah. Here she is. So I'll let her introduce herself. Tell us who you are, your name, what you do, and your values. Apart from like work, we want to demystify the introduction of Pascalia. Okay, I already said her name. This is what I do. So just tell us other essence of who Pascalia is. Yes.
Okay, first of all, I'm so grateful finally to be here.
Yes.
I think we really planned for this.
Yeah, it has been
so nice.
You too. Oh.
Yeah.
In the years to come, I want to be looking at like you.
Yeah, but you still look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my name is Pascalia. Leah has given me a very hard job. So what else? Pascalia. My profession, I'm a project manager. I've been a project manager for over 10 years. Yeah. I'm a mother of 3. Yeah, 2 girls and a boy. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. Yeah. I work hard and play hard. That is my life motto. Play hard, work hard. Yeah, all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like making friends and I like having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, that I think what I admire most about you is the playing hard and working hard, and I think that's something I've picked up. And I think that really like introduces us into the conversation of today. And today, the conversation is around mentorship. And I think just to give a bit of like background, Pascalia used to be my former manager, yes. And I think one of the things I really appreciated and something that I'm still carrying on here is all the guidance that you gave me, the encouragement. Sometimes like I tap back into the conversations you used to have and just be like, okay, Pascalia entrusted me with this. So even in my current job, I trust myself to be able to show up, and I really appreciate you for that.
Yeah, yes, that is really so nice to hear, and I'm also very grateful to connect with you again and also to get to do other things with you. And also I'm actually very grateful because of the friendship that we created, even having met as a boss, and I think it's very special and very unique.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, there's a quote I came across, maybe I can read and then we can jump into the episode. So mentorship is like friendship. It evolves over time and it's a two-way street. And I think that has been what it has been for us. Like it's a friendship, but it also has been two-way. I've been learning from you, you've been learning from me. And so from your end, what do you think mentorship is?
Okay, we've had this conversation, Leah, for the longest time, and I'm very honored to actually get to speak to so many people around this topic. It's very passionate to me. For me, mentorship, I know when you read about books, when you go for seminars, you get to hear so much about mentorship. But what I would like us to speak today about is our experiences and our views about mentorship, and just get to demystify mentorship, because the moment you tell someone about mentorship, they always feel like I have to go, start looking for big names, but actually the person next door or the people you interact with each and every day, those are the mentors and the possible mentors and people who can actually help you grow in your different aspects. So for me, mentorship comes in 3 levels, and that is what I've always said. You have to look below where you're coming from, or even people who are below you. Is there something that I can learn from these people? And I think that one we've been able to see it very well, especially in our friendship. There are so many things that you teach me and you taught me even when we used to work together, about technology, just about how to do things. And for me, that is one of the levels that I look at mentorship. Then the other level is just being able to associate with people who you are on the same level.
So like peer mentorship.
Peer mentorship. That is also very important. and also now having to look forward where you want to be. Who are the people that you look up to? And this comes in many different aspects of life, because the person you look up to in your career is not necessarily the same person you will look up to for your family or even other areas of your life. So for me, it is all around and that kind of view.
I actually like the way you have demystified the mentorship, like in those 3 levels, because I think most time, like when I hear about mentorship, is most times usually like it has to be someone above me, it has to be like someone big, you know, they have to be maybe like a CEO or something, and that's when we
sometimes people you can't even like have conversations with,
and I think it really stresses us, and maybe that's why sometimes we don't get mentors. It's because we feel like, the person that we need to get as a mentor has to be like some huge personality, and sometimes that can make you feel very scared to approach them, or even where do you even get that platform to get those people, and the fact that you can learn from both, whichever level, like you can learn from people who are below you, people who are younger than you, you can learn from your peers, and you can also learn from like people who are above you. And I think the other thing I've really liked is the fact that mentorship can be across different areas of your life. And I think most times you think about mentorship just in a career form. Actually, even personally think most times
you think about
when I think about like mentorship, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I need to get someone who is in the same field with, or I feel I'm interested in. Not really like, okay, maybe I need to look for someone to guide me in other life things. And when I've been thinking of late about going back to therapy, I was in therapy, then I stopped. And I was like, no, I think this time I want to get someone who can do therapy with, and also like a life coach. Or someone who can like guide me in like other life issues that are not just trauma based. But like it's important to have like mentorship across board. So tell us some of your experiences that you've had with mentorship in your life. Also like you've been mentored, and also your experiences when mentoring.
First of all, I must appreciate you thinking of us speaking about such a topic, because I think for young people, these are some of the things probably people don't actually consciously think about them, and I think it's very, very encouraging. So for me, mentorship, I can't really say I woke up and said this is my mentor. I think along the way I've just met people who have been very impactful in my life, and at some point you just get to interact with people, and they impact a lot in what you're doing, to a point that they just automatically become your mentors. So if I can speak about my career, I think I've shared this with your co-host. We've shared this before. I became a manager at a very young age. That is relative. I think I was 24 or 25 when I became a manager. So at that point, you can imagine you're given so much responsibility, and there's not necessarily someone who is guiding you. So my first time to actually now decide I need to like have someone to that point. And I remember that was my immediate supervisor at that point. That is the person who held my hand, and I meant it very intentional for me to just speak with them every day. And the reason for that is because they were available. So I was not going to look for another trophy mentor somewhere, and that worked for me. When it comes to my family values and even me as a wife, I also struggled. And as a mother, first-time mother, I also struggled. But at some points, I noted that many times I call my mother to ask her about so many things. And I think also that automatically she became my mentor. So I can't say I sat and say, no, I have to research who is going to be my mentor. It's just my day-to-day people. And funny enough, also now I have younger people that I also have a circle of younger friends. I have you and Wambo. You're very impactful in my life.
Impactful people.
Come
see us.
I have other younger friends who teach me about the latest fashion. I have several of those. So for me, it has always been the people around
you. Okay. So maybe if I may ask, so like in the current place you are in your life, what are, like, when you're looking for a mentor at this stage you are in, what are some of the things you look out for? Yes, you said like most of the people have just like, because of the circumstances, the availability, they have just ended up being your mentor. Are there other things? Does it touch at points in that relationship then you're like, oh, now I think they're my mentor because there are a few things you saw and then you're like, okay, I'd like them to mentor me. What are some of those things that you look at?
Okay. You can, as a human being, you can't say that you're fully like equipped with skills and all that. So for me, it is like, now, for example, if I can use your case, I realized you were giving me value. Even when we go for meetings, you're able to help me out, set up a virtual meeting, even do such simple things. So that's how really you just get to know this is a person that I can really follow up and we can build this. And I think I used to come back and even ask you the silliest, because for one thing, for mentorship, I think you also mentioned there has to be an aspect of friendship and you have to be comfortable. Because again, you can't be vulnerable with a person you think is going to judge you. I'm sure there are things that I've asked you and you're like, this one doesn't know how to play this button, but you've never felt me feel uncomfortable to even come back. And I think that is what has always been with my group of mentors, circle of mentors.
Like when I sit back and think about mentorship, I think mine also started like when I was quite young. So in my life, I feel like I've had people who have come in and mentored me. Maybe like since I was in like in primary school, I think that people like that teachers who took up that role of like guiding me and working with me and advising me. Because I remember like there's a time I was really bad at inshas and compositions. I'm not a good writer, by the way, until now. But like the teachers took up a chance, and then they used to ask me to submit an ancient composition every day, and then they guide me.
I remember you shared
So that for me was also a type of mentorship. Teachers who called me at the side and just like, you can do this, or if you're struggling with this, or what's troubling you. I think that was a form of mentorship. So I think for me, my first mentors were more my teachers, and then after that, I think across the way, and I think how mentorship has landed to me has been people identify me and then they're like, okay, we want to walk this journey with you, right? I've never also...
So it has always been people identifying.
Like people who are like very keen. Even when I was in high school, like in a way, my class teacher was very keen on my like growth, and they used to like call me aside or like identified my leadership, and so they'd like ask me what maybe roles would I want to be in, and then call me and we can have discussions. And then also afterwards I joined PACE, and in PACE there's one of the program leads, Mr. Jacob. He took me up, and until now we still converse. He still guides me, he still mentors me. We used to have like coffee, and so most of these people I didn't like identify. So I think just because of the interaction, they ended up now guiding me. And I think one of the aspects that I've realized is that if you want to be mentored, you also have to be open.
You have to be open.
You have to be open-minded. And also mentorship is not just about praise.
Because
sometimes you just want people who to reaffirm you. But one of the things is I also have appreciated from you is that you're very open, and like you correct, you affirm, validate, like you do across board, not like you're good and everything, but also when things are not going right, you're like, okay, here things are not okay. And I think that was something I've learned, is that you have to be open-minded to criticism also during mentorship.
I think that is good feedback. And at the end of the day, there has to be mentorship has to be authentic. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're just being told only the positive things. Because growth involves both good and bad. So you have to hear both coins and both sides of the coin. And I think I'm able to do that because I've also had people tell me very harsh things. They're like, I'm not going to talk to you another week. And also something else that I've also noted is that mentorship is also seasonal. You don't have to be stuck with a person because you'll be like, oh, what? Because I've sat with people and they're like, I'm meeting my mentor on Saturday, and then they're freaking, and then we're like,
because then maybe the season has ended. Oh, that's a good
or maybe they really don't know what they are going to speak with them.
Yeah.
My mentor told me I have to do this. I have not done it. Then someone is freaking. So for me, really, that is not my view of mentorship. That's why I'm saying it comes from your day-to-day interactions and from a point of friendship.
Yeah.
And if you feel like this now, I'm outgrown, or this now I'm not. It has served its purpose.
Yeah.
It's okay to move on because it's seasonal.
Yeah, very true. Because there's sometimes you look for a metaphor because of this kind of thing you're going through, and they help you guide through that process. But then after that, you start having awkward moments like, oh, hi, you want to meet, but there's nothing to speak. That's so true. It's just like friendship, because like mentorship is like friendship. Also, friendships are quite seasonal in our lives. Oh, nice one. That's a good takeaway. I've actually never thought about that. I only just think like, I need to get a mentor, but I've never thought about the seasonality of
seasons. Because now, as you've told me about your primary school teachers. At this point, they did what they were supposed to do, but now would you really call them and tell them, I'm struggling with, I'm struggling with this man? They will be like, oh, what's wrong with you?
So maybe, in mentorship, how do you balance between like providing guidance and allowing your mentees to make their own decisions?
I think that's a very good question, and I'm going to build it from my previous comments where I've seen people like they are going to meet their mentor and they feel like it's an interview, or they have to be in a certain way, they have to dress in a certain way, So for me, I think there has to be that balance, because you're not a mentor because you're perfect. You're a mentor because you've probably been there
before,
so you really have to also learn to listen, and also because there is always something to learn from the next person. So that is just the balance. And it's a relationship. This is two-way for both the mentee and the mentor.
And I think essentially, I think mentors are not there to make decisions for us. They're there to like guide us. And as I've said, even in the different levels of mentorship that you mentioned, from peer to someone maybe not as experienced, and then maybe because all these people have different experiences, and so you're just learning from their experience. And then that's being like, it's like you're seeking data. And then now using all that data, then you make a decision for yourself.
So they are not necessarily deciding for you. And I really don't think that would be the good approach even for anyone, even when dealing with friends or even parents. You just seek for information or for opinions from maybe a person who has been there, but doesn't mean whatever they say is what stands.
In the same way, how have you been able to like empower people in terms of from a mentorship point of view, for them to be able to grow? What are like some of the things that you've done in that mentorship? Is it that you have weekly meetings or such things?
First of all, I've heard so many people say that I'm their mentor, and I'm like,
what are you doing when you arrive there?
I'm like, what? So I think for me, it has always been, because most of the people that I mentor, funny enough, are my friends. They happen to be my friends. So it's not really hard to get those sessions. Like for you, we have coffee days, because we are friends and we can get to talk. That has always been the situation, because we hang out, because we work together, because we are in the same spaces.
I think for me, the reason why it has been easier for you to mentor me, and I think and you being like my mentor, is because you provide a very safe space, and you don't feel judged. Like I'm not like, oh, so should I change this, or like maybe I should not tell her about this, maybe I should hide this. It's like you embrace everything someone has to say. I don't need to feel like I need to maybe shrink or like hide some things. You provide such a safe space for someone to be able to come and talk to you about whatever, from work, because talk about from work to whatever you're thinking. Yeah, so I think that has been like one of the ways that you have provided and empowered me. And I think the other thing is like you are very supportive and like validate, like, okay, I think you're doing, even when you're doubting, like remember there's that time you used to ask me, why do you keep doubting yourself? No, why do you keep doubting yourself that much? Like you really validate someone and they feel, okay, now actually I can actually do this, and that has really helped me know that, at the end of the day, I have a good support system. Like you provide a very good support system of even when I'm taking up a risk, I know kuna mtu hapo nyuma kuniambia, Leah, you can do this still,
I think that's first of all, I appreciate that feedback. I think for me, what I've been able to, they always say that you give what is inside you. You can't give what you don't have. So I think for me, I've also been very lucky in my life to have very safe people around me, people that I feel safe with. Like my mother, she has always been very impactful. She's the kind of a person that will not be there to judge you. You're able to tell her anything. And even the manager who was there, I actually say my very first time manager when I started my formal employment impacted my life a lot. And that's something that I cautiously do, especially even in my job when I'm dealing with younger people or people that I supervise. I make sure that I plant in them something. Because as a young person, you are starting off, you are green, you don't have the least you need is someone to tell you you can do this. So you can imagine someone who is there brutally telling you what is this, So I always come from that point of I was also supported, so I have to support.
Maybe just something in regards to like our podcast is we are figuring it out. What do you think you're currently figuring it? What are you currently figuring out about mentorship at this stage?
So I think that's a very good question, and I think I mentioned that I've never struggled like to get people to mentor me, but I think at this point of my life, I think life is really like a journey. It reaches a point. Sometimes you feel like you're really stuck, like you want to move, you want to break a certain barrier. I was sharing this with a friend of mine yesterday, and I was telling them I feel like now the next level that I want to go to, my career, family wise, finance wise, I really need a lot of muscle. I really need a lot of so I'm actually now contemplating of just approaching. I've been able to approach several people who have been able to guide me, especially balancing career and family. I think for me that has been a very long struggle that I really didn't know how to figure it out, And I think reaching out, I've been able to reach out to people because sometimes you feel like really this is like I don't know how are people able to do it because it's not easy. I know sometimes people can just pick like what's the big deal being a wife having to go to school.
We're all doing it. People cover it like that.
People cover it and people say I'm independent, I'm this strong, But at some point for you to really be able to balance all these aspects, you have to be very intentional about it. You can't just walk blindly and think things are going to work out. One will suffer or several will suffer.
I think one of the things I've been listening, I'm yet to get to a place where I have as much as you're balancing. Definitely you're a strong woman. Not covering it, but I think everyone is able to balance like work, children, other things, social life, everything is like kudos because I just have my work and I'm already struggling to balance social life and like my work and myself. And I think one of the things to say that in the different season of life, there definitely the balance is very like it had to balance,
and it gets
difficult.
With time,
with time, and they say like there are times when it has to be like time for work and it's time for your career, and sometimes your marriage kind of like takes like a bit of a setback. Maybe your other roles, sometimes your social life suffers. These other aspects of life have to take precedence. Then there's always a shift, and sometimes I think the balance maybe should be the balance of the shifts.
I actually think so. I agree with you on
Yeah,
that, and I think I share the same view.
Yeah.
Because I don't think really you can have all these aspects of your life going well at the same time. There has to be, I think if I can give an example, the period between, for example, for me, I think I said I'm going to speak from a point of my personal experience. I know it's different for different people. When I was between 25 and, upward 29, I knew what I had to put a lot of focus on is my job. I knew I want to get married, but at that point my biggest focus was
your career.
My career. Then it came a point when I felt naturally now I want to get married. I got married, and balancing my husband now before I got kids and my job was not as hard.
That's one more person in the list.
And I had already achieved what I wanted to achieve before I got married. Now the first baby came. Now we start noticing, I have more things to balance. But I think with time, you get to just feel natural now what needs my focus more. If you're really intentional about all that, you'll be able to figure out, and you will not feel overwhelmed, or you will not feel like I have to be a superman, I have to go to school, I have to be a super, you really have to have that balance.
Thank you for that. So something here, I've got another question. So Simon Sinek, one of the guys we listen to a lot, and I advise that people listen to podcasts that he's hosted or like his channel. So he says that you can't just walk over to someone and ask them to be a mentor. Do you believe that's true? That's when. And how do you identify someone worth mentoring?
I think that's basically what we've been talking about today, because
do you believe like I can just walk to you and just say mentor me? Do you think that's a true concept? I don't think so. And first, even someone they approach me like that, I'll be like, huh?
Look at you now.
I don't know your name. But
for me, I really don't think that's that is not the approach that would work for me, because I feel like as we said, you have to be comfortable with the person. You have to go there as the authentic self, as yourself. I really don't think you. But I know I've seen now. I'm really looking for that person. But definitely, I'm not going to a stranger. I'm just looking around
the people that you've interacted with before.
So in as much as I'm looking, I'm not really like going online and saying, it has to be someone that I know and someone, because there is always someone who has gone through what you have gone through.
Maybe how I'd think about it would be maybe not go like to a stranger and say, please mentor me now. I think maybe even just from online, maybe you can have seen someone online that you like their work and stuff like that, and just be like, oh, hi, I like what you're doing, and maybe can we have a chat? Nowadays people are very, it's just like the same way with hiring. Like nowadays you can just approach a HR on LinkedIn, and then they're like, there's this job opportunity and guide you through it. Maybe in that aspect. But even for that, you'd need to develop some form of relationship, because also this person would be quite skeptical. And nowadays there are so many weirdos.
But to speak to that maybe before what I'm thinking. I also think I really don't think you have to really meet a person for them to mentor you. That is also another way, especially in this
battle.
Like for example, in my head, I know Sylvia Molige is my mentor, and I've never met her. But I literally stalk her. Like I follow her LinkedIn, I follow wherever she goes out. But recently she accepted my LinkedIn. I don't know whether it's her, but it was accepted. You read what they write, you follow their lifestyle, and that way you get to also learn from them.
That's a good view. Because I think like for me there are people like Sylvia Molige is definitely one.
I think
really same here. I like how she lives her life. I like how she.
I think she's in our WhatsApp group. Workout. Play hard. I think that's what I like.
I also like how she shows up, and people like the books that we read, like Oprah, like I admire of her, what she does.
You
don't meet her, I follow her, I don't meet her, but you learn.
A lot.
People are crazy about people like Kim Kardashian or like Beyonce, and you say that you want to be like them. And sometimes it's true. You actually don't really need to have them, but you can like follow them and see there's some of the things that you'd want to carry along your journey. Well, even for the
you podcast, can also mentor your people without even meeting them.
Yeah, maybe you're being mentored by we are few. We are really happy to mentor you. Yes, that is so true. So for people who are like looking for mentors, what would be your advice to them? How would they go on getting one?
Looking for mentors. Well, I think for me, it's don't look far away.
Don't look far away.
It's just the person next to you.
True.
If you need to, and I also say, for you to grow, you have to be willing to let others grow. For example, if I don't leave someone, how do I expect myself to be lifted? In the process of mentoring the next person, you're also able to learn in the process of mentoring. So for me, I think it's just looking around, the people around you. There's always that one person who has whatever it is that you're looking for.
Do you think for one to be mentored, they have, as you've said, they have to have something that they are looking for? Do you think can you just be?
Most definitely, you have to know what you want in a person, because as we said, there are so many aspects of mentoring. The same person who mentors your career may not. If you're lucky enough, you might get someone who is both your career and your family mentor. But really, I think it's very like for me, I always know what it is that I look for you. When we are not now doing friendship and all that. So every time I make sure I ask you things, even today when I spoke about strength, not like I know strength, I just wanted to know more. If I know
what do you think about it?
I was not but so now when I ask you, I know you're going to tell me more about it.
True.
I will laugh, but you don't say
and it doesn't have to be like very formal.
Did I tell you?
No. Yes,
I know I will not go. I will not go home and ask my husband, what do you think? What is dread? So you have to know what it is that you're looking for.
True.
In a person.
Very true. So I think maybe one of the things that I came across, and I want to, this is from us to you. So it's well known that having the right type of mentor in our lives can help open our eyes to the choices and possibilities not yet developed in our minds. These people help us realize that our dreams can become a reality by standing on the shoulders of giants. Thank you for being the giant that you can stand on their shoulders.
I'm so honored to know that. I'm really just to find out what it is that people see, because so many people give me that feedback, but I can't take it for granted. I'm very, very honored.
Yes, I think it's because you really show up. Like, I feel like you really, really show up in every single time. Like, there's no time we have asked for you or like, and you've been.
Now we are going to cry.
Yeah, you've been very open for us. And I think that is one of the things maybe people see, how open you are, accommodating, safe, nurturing, very nurturing, and providing that
and fun.
Definitely, and fun. And it's something that we really appreciate as young people who are trying to figure out life. When we see women like you close, like very up close, it just makes us know, it's achievable, it's doable, and even as you're figuring out where you are in life, from our side, we're like, she's doing it. Like, may that be a validation of like,
thank you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you so much. That's very good to get to know. And I'm also very honored. I don't have a quote, but I'm just going to tell you, because you've also been very impactful.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be hanging out. So
we need to constantly create value.
Because definitely I'm able to know what is happening around. You get to tell me the latest of songs and all that. Don't think those are things that are not important. Because in my space, I wouldn't like know the things, especially around technology, around even the way for now, because nowadays when you're looking for jobs, it's not like the way it used to be before. Things are quite different, and I'm able also to learn from you. Yes. So I'm also very grateful, and I actually think you're on the right track path. So you can imagine your future is big.
Thank you so much.
I'm very proud to be associated with
your Theo.
Yeah, I'm very proud.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Thank you guys for listening in. It has been an amazing episode. After this, you're going to cry a bit, but we're holding it in. But make sure that you follow us. Do you want people to follow you?
Where?
Maybe you can say on Thread.
Yeah, I'm going to give you my thread. It's called handle still. I'm going to give you my thread. If you have my thread, you'll have my Instagram.
Yeah, but they can. So, but they can follow you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Pascalia Wasoi.
Pascalia Wasoi. Yes.
And LinkedIn there.
LinkedIn there. So LinkedIn, not
yes.
Just figuring it out. Yeah. So make sure you also follow We Are Theo on all social media platforms at we_r_Theo, all social media platforms, and make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and make sure you hit the notification bell so that every time we release a new episode, you get notified. And we are in all podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Castbox, all of them. We are there. Make sure that you leave a comment. What have you learned from our session today? I'd really like to hear your feedback. We'd want to hear from you. Are you struggling? Are you trying to find a mentor? What are some of the things that you have learned today that you need to look out for when you're looking for a mentor? We'd like to hear from you. So thank you so much and see you next time. Bye-bye.